Right. So tonight we'll work on the figures, face, arms, and maybe this one here on the left. For the bottom part, I covered most of the work I did last week just because my lines were not in the right direction. And I'm just put a wash in kind of different directions coming from the center out. A wash of um, mm, uh, Payne's gray, white, and a bit of I used burnt umber or raw umber. Doesn't matter, one of them, tiny bit. But this is not going to stay like this. I will work on it later on and fix a bit, put some hint of tiles or stone or something. So for now, we're just going to work on. We're going to start working on the face. I have burnt umber, burnt sienna, and white. And this burnt sienna is Winsor and Newton, so it's a little bit more orangey than the other burnt siennas. It's a little bit orangey, which is great for skin tone. All right, I'm going to zoom in and then we'll start with the face. Okay. I'm going to work on this figure here. So the light is coming from this side, from the left, and I can see there's a highlight on his face on this side. So I'm going to start with burnt sienna as my main color. I'll put a bit of white in it. And I'll start with a medium tone. This part of the face is darker, and there's a shadow from the hat over his face. Now I'm going to take a bit of burnt umber at this point, mix with my burnt sienna. This is an easy way. It's very far away. So we're not doing portrait. So what we're doing is we're taking general kind of color and we're introducing this color to the face. And we'll work with, I'll show you in a minute what I mean. We'll work with the features to highlight the face. So this is mainly what I have right now. I'm going to let it dry a bit because it takes time for it to dry. It's going to dry darker also. So meanwhile, I'm going to put a bit of that color over here. Oh, that's better. While I'm waiting for the face to dry, I'm going to take burnt umber, burnt sienna, a little bit of white. I have it already here. It's mixed. So what I'm doing is I'm bringing the burnt umber into the mid-tone, and I'm going to cover the arms in this darker shade of skin tone because it has burnt umber in it. Let's do the fingers. Again, same. I'm gonna come here. Right? It's a little bit, it's really dark, but that's okay. We're gonna highlight. Now, let these two dry, and then I'm gonna go back to the face. Now for the face, I'm gonna take burnt sienna, white, small brush, round, small brush, and I'm gonna start working with what I see. So because the nose is higher, it's gonna catch more light, and it's a triangle. So what you're seeing is something like this, a triangle where the highlight is. Where I'm going to highlight. So I'm going to highlight. I don't know if you can see it. Look at the highlight. It's more like a triangle. You can look at your reference, and you'll see the triangle.
Yes.
A little bit here where the face is. Actually, I should go a little bit darker. I will fix that nose in a minute. I have to work with a bit of negative, fix the nose with negative painting. Sometimes the picture or the brush is a bit too big for what is being done. Very simple. I'm going to take burnt umber now and then create a small dark line where the nose is and where the mouth is. Remember, this is not a portrait, okay? This is just kind of what we are trying to come up with as face. upper lip, darker than the lower lip, underneath the lower lip, little line right there, dots to try to create the illusion of a lower lip without having to paint it. Let's do that one more. Let's do the eyes. Again, it's just an illusion or a suggestion of an eye. Okay, now let's go back. Now I'm gonna go to, so whatever I did in the dark, like the dark, whatever I need as dark, I used burnt umber only. And the rest is burnt sienna and white. Again, acrylic dries darker, so I have to wait for it to dry and then I highlight. And again, the nose needs to be adjusted in a minute. That's okay. Let's highlight this part first. So when you're highlighting this part, I am trying to create a 3 steps, 3 values. Very simple. This is really small, so we don't have room for strong highlights and detail. But that's a bit too much. Jawline, a little bit upper where the upper parts here where the cheeks are, and then ear, neck. So what I'm trying to do is create three values: light, medium, and dark. So I'm going to go back to the medium using only burnt sienna and white, and just try to get that medium going here. And if I find that it's a bit too much, too light, I can just go back and add a bit of burnt sienna in here in between. But I think it's okay. Now, I'm going to soften where the eye is. It's a bit too strong, too big and too strong. So now that the paint is drying, and the hat is going to be over that part too. So eventually when I put the hat on, it's going to look better. But that's good. That's not bad. Let it dry again. And I'll take it from there. When it's dry, I'll go back and see if there's anything needs to be done. Now do you want me to pause for a minute? Yes? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna work on this hand. And again, I'm gonna go with medium tone, just for now, burnt sienna and white. This is medium tone, so I'm going to be doing another layer or another.
The thing is, your paint looks. Are you yellow, and mine is pink.
Yes, because that's,
Of the
remember when I
light?
said, no,
Of the light?
no,
No?
it's the actual paint itself. It depends
Oh,
on what you're using. What's the paint? Liquitex,
yes.
and it's
Or
pink.
it's
So
more.
add a bit of orange, or add. I'll tell you what. Add yellow ochre to it.
Oh,
Yellow ochre. Yellow ochre
okay.
will shift it. Will shift the color to more skin tone from pink.
Yeah, yeah. And where can I find the yellow ochre now? Anyway.
I'm just watching my reference.
As it shows, yes.
I'm still working with medium tone. I'm going to need a little bit of darks. So I'm bringing in the burnt umber, mixing it with my medium tone. Now highlights. If it's too much, I can go back and soften. So strong highlights here, the more I go down, it's going to turn a little bit darker. this part of the hand should be darker than this. So the fingers, where the knuckles are,
Yes.
should be a little bit darker, slightly darker. You cannot see it there, but when the fingers bend, there the knuckles, where the knuckles are, here, it's slightly darker, and this is stronger highlighted here.
Yeah.
You're working on a bigger scale too.
Yes. Are you recording?
Yes.
Oh,
Wet your brush. If you wet it, it's easier.
the brush is okay.
I'm gonna darken a little bit this finger down here. Okay, so let's work on this hand, arm. I'm going to start with my high, medium tone where the light is. I think in the reference, this part of the arm is cut off, so you don't see it, but we are going to put it. Now we're going to get to the hand, and I'm going to do the same what I did there. So I'm going to put on the other hand here, I'm going to put a suggestion of fingers, and I'll work on the detail later on. So this is just kind of medium toned, kind of. I'm trying to slowly highlight. Now I'm going to take burnt sienna and white, and I'm going to start highlighting a little bit more on this side. Darken a little bit. That's too strong. And of course, I don't want a cut in the hand, so I'm going to do, in the arm, sorry. I'm going to do medium tone here. So a light, medium tone, and it goes to the darkest part. Again, this way, this one here, same. As soon as this arm turns around, at the bottom here should be slightly darker. Light is going to hit the upper arm, right here, upper part of the arm, and then it will be darker at the bottom. Right now, now let's take a little bit of kind of a medium tone and bring this highlight up to the hand.
Are you just using burnt sienna and white?
Burnt sienna white, and for the darks, I use burnt umber. I add burnt umber to that combination of burnt sienna and white. Yes, burnt sienna and white. That's burnt sienna and white right now. Now I have to add my highlights slowly and carefully, watching the reference and seeing where the strong highlight is, and see if it works here too. I mean, sometimes what you see in the reference in a photograph doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work, and it's going to look good, especially when you're working with minimum detail. So you want to look at the bigger shape. You want to look at the hand and the arm and everything in terms of shapes, because we're not actually working with details here. This is just a suggestion of what we're seeing. This is very, very difficult position of fingers. So I see there's like the hand goes out a bit here. That might improve a bit the shape.
Hands are hard.
Very hard. Yes.
Very hard.
Yeah.
I think we should do a lesson on hands.
We did.
Do a refresher.
Okay.
How's that?
Good idea.
Good idea. Or
Full of good ideas.
yes.
Okay. I think I'm gonna stop.
Yes. Stop,
That's
please.
enough. Okay.
Because
Okay. So this is where we're at. We did the face, arms and fingers, hands, and this is the last session before the holidays. We will resume our class again the week of January 2nd. So Merry Christmas, everybody, and Happy New Year.